You are in the Worst Huddle with me, Bram, with me per usual, my master of all things video and sound, Maxime,
How's it going?
and my boy, our producer, MT.
What's up, Dub Nation?
Gentlemen, fuck this. All right, so look, emergency podcast. We've done emergency podcasts in the past multiple times. Generally speaking, when we do them, it's because there's some news we have to share with the audience. This one's a little bit different. This one, I am so angry. I'm so frustrated after that game 2 loss, after that play from Amen Thompson. I'm holding an emergency podcast because if I don't get this shit off my chest, it's going to burst through me and my face will explode. So, emergency podcast, no time for intros, no time for how you guys watched it. We're jumping right in to the first segment. I'm calling that segment Glass Half Furious. We're going to do a glass half full, I promise. All right, that's coming up next. We'll look towards some kind of optimism. But I need a place, a safe space where we can just say what made us angry about last night. I don't expect you boys to follow logic. I don't even expect you to be able to completely back your take. What I expect you to do is just dump out your anger. Get this shit off your chest right now. And I will go first because, like I said, I'm in danger of face explosion. So let's get this out there. All right. And I've got 3 kind of quick interrelated takes. Here's the first. I don't think Amen Thompson did it on purpose. I do not think it was an intentional take. I don't even think it was necessarily dirty, but I do think it was reckless. Here's the definition. According to Merriam-Webster's dictionary, reckless means, quote, doing something without thinking or caring about the consequences of an action. I'll give you an example of that. It's like running through a red light. If I decide to take my car and smash through a red light, I'm not trying to hit anybody. I'm not intending to do anything. I'm just not thinking about the consequences of my action. I think that is exactly what happened with Amen Thompson. And so just from the jump, one thing I'm furious about, a reckless play where he didn't care about the safeties of others that may have taken out a superstar, a guy we desperately need. So that's just one. But let me take it a step further, okay? Point number 2. This wasn't just recklessness. This was encouraged recklessness. For 82 fucking games, Ime Udoka has taught, encouraged, asked his team to play with this kind of physical style, this kind of reckless abandon. All right. And we don't have to guess. He had a hot mic last night. That hot mic caught him telling his team, look, they're not calling it. Keep doing it. We've got that here.
Keep playing through the contact, physicality. Don't worry, they're not going to call anything. Play through it. Don't get caught up in that. Keep the turnovers low. Keep them out transition. Keep playing through the contact, physicality. Don't worry, they're not going to call anything. Play through it. Don't get caught up in that. Keep the turnovers low. Keep them out transition.
Keep doing it. They won't call it. Encourage recklessness. So let's go back to my story. All right. Let's say someone runs a stoplight and they hit someone I care about. I'm pissed. Now, let's say this person who ran through a stoplight, we look into the past a little bit. And when they were taught how to drive, the person who taught them said, don't worry about stoplights. Just fly through them. Don't you worry about what happens. It's all good. I encourage you to run through stoplights. Let's take it a step further. It wasn't just recklessness. It wasn't just encouraged recklessness. This was encouraged recklessness that the Rockets have been allowed to do all series. This isn't the only physical play that came down with reckless abandon. They've been doing bullshit like this all year. Back to our car example. Let's say someone gets hit by a car. We learned that they were taught to run through red lights, and not only had they gone through multiple red lights in the past, but cops were there, watched them and said, it's fine. Go ahead. Keep going through the red lights. Everything's fine. And then the accident happens. Boys, fuck this. This is ridiculous. It's out of control. I've got other things that I'm upset about, but I'm going to save it. I'm going to let you boys get some stuff off your chest. What's burning through you?
So I don't know if you guys, I've spent all day just both trying to avoid thinking about basketball and incessantly thinking about basketball. And so, one of my safe and happy places is to listen to podcasts. And I was listening to the Zach Lowe show. He had Kirk Goldsberry on, and they were talking about, this is like national media talking about, this Houston Golden State game is officiated completely differently than how you would officiate it in the regular season. We might as well be watching football. And then he pointed out Jalen Brunson has drawn 23 fouls in the first 2 games. Stephen Curry has drawn 6. And that kind of discrepancy, right? The thing that is frustrating, I'm adding to what you said because everything you said was perfectly well said. It's just extremely frustrating. It's like having the cops be like, yeah. Up until springtime, we're going to be really vigilant around the red lights. And then when it comes to springtime, like, fuck it, right? Like, let's just enjoy, like, you know what? Red lights don't even matter anymore. Like, maybe we'll just turn off the street lights entirely. Like, how is Steve Kerr supposed to game plan for it? How are we supposed to, more important than anything, keep our players safe?
100%. It's almost as if the cops were like, look, definitely abide by red lights, but not in this neighborhood. Over here, don't worry about it. Just smash through those, and we'll keep you safe in these other neighborhoods for sure. We'll make sure that the laws are enforced. But in this one, as fast as you want to, don't you worry about it. Just go for it. Oh shit.
I don't know if I'm the right guest for this podcast because I am nowhere near anywhere close to how angry either of you are, and maybe
which is good.
But yeah.
And I mean, I'll give you there's a segment coming where we're going to look at this play and we're going to figure out, is it just playoff basketball? Is it recklessness? Is it dirty? I mean, you'll get a chance. It doesn't surprise me to hear that you're not as emotionally invested in it. But in this segment, it's just unnecessary anger. Is there anything you're unnecessarily angry about? Because if you're not, I've got more that I'm happy to fill this space with.
I think the same whistle and amount of physicality that we experienced and lost from game 2 was the amount that we benefited from in our win in game 1. If we shoot the ball anywhere near a respectable level in the first quarter, then we're not having the same conversation. We just didn't make shots. It wasn't like they were up on us and we were like shooting really contested shots. We just missed shots. So I think that paired with the reckless play, and I agree, it was reckless, that injured Butler, and then Pods being out, not feeling well, was just a recipe for disaster. And that was their season on the line. Like, if you go down 2-0 and go back on the road after being down 2-0 and lose both home games, then, it's a wrap. So that was a game 7 in their season on the line. We didn't shoot well at all. We were still kind of in it throughout, like the final score line. But I just think it was a physical game. It did feel like a football game, but all the playoff games have been officiated differently, and it's interesting to see. But like before the mics went hot on the last pod, we were like, they're going to lose this game. So,
after the mics went hot, we said they're going to lose this game. My fury isn't because they lost the game. We predicted this. I went in trying to protect my heart yesterday. Like, I knew that they were going to, it was what it was. And it's because what you said, you can't manufacture desperation. So the anger isn't at the loss, although they missed more than shots, MT. They also missed Jimmy fucking Butler because of the reckless play that took him out in the first quarter, which is an enormous thing. We had Pat Spencer playing big minutes. We threw in JK in the most unfair scenario ever. Nobody can succeed in that. He had been told he's not going to play. And then suddenly he's like, oh, not only are you going to play, we desperately need you. You're now maybe our second leading scorer. It was super unfair. But here, let me give you some more things. Here's another thing that makes me fucking furious. Everybody talking about Zaza and Draymond. Okay. Right. The Warrior fans shouldn't say any of this. Well, they can all fuck themselves. All right. Step one, if in my past, some member of my family was a murderer. Let's say it was a murderer. Worst thing they could do. Killed somebody. You know what that doesn't justify? You killing some other member of my family. It doesn't matter that somebody else did this. Sure, we can throw stones at Zaza, but that doesn't make this play any better at all. All right. And thing number 2 to distinguish between that Zaza shit. Zaza, reckless. I agree. Zaza's play was reckless, but he wasn't done to encourage that? Coached in that way. That team didn't play defense in the physical, nasty style of play that Houston does. That was just Zaza making a one-off play. That's not a comparison. They shouldn't be allowed to do this. Here's something else I'm angry about. If Maxime, if you and I decided to have a car race, we're going to decide who could drive the fastest. And right before we took that race, you stole one of my tires, just took it off my car and then beat me. You know what you shouldn't be allowed to do? Celebrate like you're the fastest fucking person on earth. Watching them celebrate afterwards as if they were the better team was yet another thing that it melted my face. It It made me very angry is what it did. And I thought over the last few hours, I'd gotten a little bit better. No, it turns out I still have this deep inside, but being able to talk it out is helping me a little bit. Maxime, you are thankfully not as fucking healthy apparently as MT. Is there anything else here? What am I missing as far as just anger inducing? This is bullshit things.
Well, first of all, I'm definitely more angry after hearing MT just callously say that it's not a big deal. Like, I'm now more riled up. So glad it's helping you, Bram, but it's going the opposite direction for me. I'm starting to get pretty livid, which reminds me of this is not. I'm again, just because I listened to the Zach Lowe show this morning, I'm thinking about it in this context. But this is something that's been driving me nuts, even with you guys, frankly, saying that we were going to lose game 2. We are not a typical 7 seed. That they were just saying like, oh yeah, you know who if we discount Memphis, who the 2 worst offenses are of the 16 teams in the playoff, guess what? Houston is 15, Golden State is 14. Yeah, no shit, because we didn't trade for Jimmy Butler until February. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, it's as if this is some random dude that joined the squad and had no impact, and then the fact that he goes out has no impact. Like, obviously this is going to be completely changing how things operate. This team is very capable of taking a punch to the face, getting back up, and punching back. We absolutely could have won the game at the 7-minute mark until Jimmy Butler had his legs taken out from underneath him. I'm not saying that it's a guarantee. I'm just saying that it's absurd to talk about this as if this was like a done deal and this narrative that like, of course Houston was going to win game 2. I mean, I don't give a shit that it was on the road. Like, it ought to be somewhat equivalent to, and not to the same degree, but Oklahoma City versus Memphis. Like, this is a young, inexperienced team that is solely reliant on being overly aggressive to be able to compete with a team that is actually talented at basketball. There are individual pieces that are talented. Jalen Green went off. That's fantastic. Would he have gone off in the same way if Jimmy Butler was still on the court? Maybe not. Would he have gone off the same way if our literal leading rebounder from game 1, Brandon Pajemski, was still on the court and not sick? Like, this is just so fucking ridiculous that we're pretending as if this was a normal basketball game and everybody's like, way to go, like, what a comeback for Jalen Green after game 1. Yeah, because they were playing a fucking G League, because Pat Spencer was out there. I love Pat Spencer, but that dude plays lacrosse, you know? Like, he's a good basketball player. He's not supposed to be in a playoff rotation right now.
I'm so proud of you, although I don't love Pat Summer, but I'm so proud of you right now. This kind of feels like an Anakin Skywalker moment. Like, just feel the dark side of the Force, my friend. You just lean this direction. In fact, new title, no longer Glass Half Furious. Now it's Glass Half Fuck MT. So good stuff. We got there. Yeah, this is fantastic. Okay. Feel a little bit better. I do feel a little bit better. And there's more stuff coming as far as the play and how dirty it was, those kind of things. But give me a little optimism. Squint, look hard, glass half full. Okay. And I'm going to take the easiest one and probably the most important one off the table right now. Mission accomplished. They went to Houston with the goal of winning 1. Mission accomplished. They got it. They won it. Now we hope that Jimmy comes back. There's still a lot of other questions, but as far as the series, what we really wanted to happen happened. You know, we were a little distracted because it happened on the first, not the second, but that has to be said. Other optimism. Give me some glass half full.
I think we shoot better at home. And again, I think if we shot the ball even at a average level, we would have felt a lot different about that game. Like, Amen Thompson and Dylan Brooks both had 3 fouls in the second quarter and had to sit. Like, that's usually a recipe for them losing. Like, they're going to put in some of their bench and it's not as deep. So, you know, it's just the perfect storm. Like, that we did what we wanted to do. We just didn't shoot the ball well and we got injured. So, and had players out. So I think we shoot the ball better at home. We always knew it was going to be, 6 games. I think we all said 6, or at least me and you did, Bram, and Maxime said 5. So they can still do it in 5. We all knew that they would lose at least 1 game. And if this is that game, this is that game. So I think it's just a big overreaction. Like, we didn't play well. We had JK and Pat Spencer leading the way, and we still got it down to single digits, with it.
Did you not see Butler get hurt, dude? The fuck are you talking? You keep analyzing this game as if it's just 1-1 and everybody's still healthy. If Butler is hurt, this series is over, MT. It's over.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so like it's not. You keep analyzing. It's like, well, the shot goes down, and I don't know why you're overreacting. The fuck are you talking about? We may have just lost the reason why we had a shot. I mean, like if that goes down, this isn't an overreaction. This is a season's done. Get the fishing gear ready. I mean, is that an overreaction, or am I right on that?
No, for sure. But X-rays were negative. Jimmy Butler's pretty tough, and we'll see if he can play. But my guess is Jimmy plays, and he toughs it out. So
there's the glass half full. All right, glass half full, specific, objective. X-rays negative. Okay, MRI results not out, so we don't know. But we did have a very cryptic weirdo take from Mark Spears that he said was optimistic. Let's play that. Here's Mark Spears on ESPN talking about a text he received from Jimmy Butler's agent. Go about 30 seconds in, Maxine, because he spent some time talking about JK.
He brings some athleticism that the Warriors need in this series. So, hey, JK, you want to play and you want the bag, this is your time. But let me tell you this real quick. There is some hope, though. Bernie Lee, Jimmy Butler's agent, texts me saying, pray for the bear. That tells me that's some optimism for Jimmy.
So,
the bag.
I don't know what pray for the bear means.
Yeah.
He wants to get.
That was Jimmy.
That was for the bear as well.
That's why we're praying for him, is being chased by the cops. Generally speaking, if somebody texted me that said pray for this guy, I'm not immediately thinking, oh, everything's great. That's not the biggest reason for optimism, but I don't know. He took it optimistically, so I guess I will too. I don't know. What's your read on that?
It's like when they say you poke the bear and then, the bear comes and annihilates you. But LeBron said it a year or two ago, right? He was like, they poked him and he was like, pray for the bear because I'm even going to slaughter the bear.
Boom. Let's go. Oh, I love that.
Pray for the bear means that he's coming back.
Yeah. Boom. And he's coming back. The way I'm reading what you just said, he's coming back for fucking vengeance with lust, bloodlust in his heart. Off we go. All right, never mind. Can we redo this segment? And then I'm going to tell you first, let's lead with the police siren for as long as we can. And then let's really dig into the quote, because I got some incredible follow-ups there. Here, I'll give you one more glass half full. If this was a sports movie, this is where the music would kick in right now. They've had the villain has been set. Their villainry has been done. We've got people to hate. We've got doubt in our heart. How can our heroes, put this together? And if Jimmy is sending out a pray for the bear FU text, maybe, just maybe, this is going to be one of those series we think back on when we're waxing poetic about the dynasty. So I don't know. I mean, we got some time here. We'll find out. But there's at least a chance. And if the segment's called Glass Half Full, I'm embracing that chance as much as I can.
Yeah, I mean, Jimmy walked off the court as if, he was 90 years old and wasn't coming back. But my guess is if it was an elimination game, he would have got whatever shot they give you, that cortisol shot, whatever it is, and he would have been back on the floor. Hobbling, but he would have been back on the floor. Game 2 was found extra money. They already did what they need to do, like you said, in game 1. So I was more upset with some of the other plays than that one from Amen Thompson.
Give me some examples.
The elbow that Jalen Green threw at Draymond, I think he put a little too much on it. Didn't connect as he did, but switch those around. If Draymond throws an elbow head level and connects at all, then he's suspended and he's out. So the fact that Jalen Green did it, was obviously frustrated, threw an elbow at the head, connected to whatever degree, should have been flagrant 2 and talk of suspension. And then Amen Thompson elbowing Pat Spencer on the way down the court. It's it was right in front of the ref too, and he's looking at it. So I was like, okay, if you're just gonna let that go, to your point, then what are we refereeing here?
Absolutely. And it's part and parcel of that pattern of reckless play, man. I mean, let me say this. I understand why Udoka would want to play him that way. I get it. It gives him a better chance. Like I'm not saying that he's a bad person or something, that like this has never been done in the history of basketball. I understand what the 80s and 90s basketball was. I watched it. I get it, but that's no longer a part, or I don't think it should no longer or be a part of this game any longer. And so watching it now, it just frustrates me. It frustrates the hell out of me. But let's litigate the play. And Maxime, my apologies. I meant to send you a tweet that actually had a close-up version of the play. I can text it to you now if that works, but we can also just discuss it because I'm sure we all watched it. The question I want to throw out there is, how do you view it? The spectrum that I've heard, far left, this is just playoff basketball. This is what happens in the playoffs. The refs are supposed to swallow their whistles. The players are supposed to throw their bodies. There's nothing to complain about. The far right is straightforward, dirty intention. Amen Thompson, well, maybe wasn't trying to hurt him, but knew what he was doing was off. Here, we've got the play going on here behind us. Knew what he was doing it off and did it nonetheless. And then the in between is what I've already told you guys I think it was. Straightforward recklessness. He wasn't doing anything on purpose, but he also didn't care about the consequences of his actions. All right. So MT, look through this for me. What do you think went down? Is there any blame, or is this just unfortunate?
I think it's just unfortunate. I mean, he was being reckless. I do think that, but the way he fell, if you look at it and you slow it down, like some people, Rockets fan mostly, are saying Draymond Green boxed him out into it, which isn't true. Other fans are saying Steven Adams pushed him into it, which I don't think is true either. I think they were all going for it, and he just lost his balance and fell forward, and it just happened to be at the perfect time to low bridge Butler. But I agree. I think they're encouraged to play recklessly, and this is a byproduct of that.
Bingo. Maxime, don't give me your response yet. All right. So let's say that the first question, let me change it. You now know that both MT and I think it was reckless. And we now know that both MT and I think he was not pushed into him. Did either of you guys think he was tripped in any way? I do not.
No.
Okay. So the next one, finally, to you, Maxime, is how do you view this play? But let me give you a little bit more information before you give us your answer. First piece of information comes from Steve Kerr. All right. Here's what Kerr said after the game. Quote, I haven't seen the replay. I asked our guys behind the bench, and they just said it looked like there was some physicality on the rebound. And I think Thompson just inadvertently found himself underneath Jimmy. We didn't think there was anything wrong with the play. It was just one of those things. So if we had Steve Kerr on the show, he would tell us this was playoff basketball. All right. But I want to give you guys a little bit more evidence, because it turns out that this is not the only time Amen Thompson has had a play like this. In fact, I've been able to pull 3 other examples of Amen Thompson doing things that I know may have been a little extracurricular. Let me show them to you. Here's number 1. Let's go with the Giannis play. This is a back and forth between Amen Thompson and Giannis Antetokounmpo. Let's run that back one more time. If you are not watching and you're only listening, hop up on YouTube and watch these because it's worth it. There, Giannis is under the basket. Amen realizes he can't stop him, jumps up, grabs him by the neck, and in some way forces Giannis down. Let me show you another one. This is with my boy Maxi Kleber, a guy whose name I cannot say without screaming it with a German accent. Here's Kleber getting thrown to the ground by Amen Thompson under the basket, seemingly unprovoked, gives him an elbow, down he goes. But there's one more. Here's the most famous. This is Amen Thompson and Tyler Hero. Argument. Boom! Body slammed to the ground. So some examples, all right, of Amen maybe doing things purposefully. Again, I don't think this was on purpose, but some examples. So we now go to you, Maxime. What's your read, man? Dirty, reckless, playoff basketball. What do you think?
I agree that it was reckless. I agree that there's nothing about this that seems overly intentional in and of itself. But it's all the stuff that we were talking about before the play started, right? The way that Pajemski, Steven Adams, Draymond, and Amen Thompson are all gathering above the restricted area is a direct result of the physicality that has been encouraged in this game, right? It's also admittedly because we're super frustrated by the amount of offensive rebounds they've been getting over the course of the first, the first game plus 8 minutes here, right? And we're trying our absolute hardest to box them out and try to get some rebounds ourselves. But I think all of this stems from this is the straw that broke the camel's back. No pun intended there. That the play itself isn't reckless. The way that this team is being coached and the way that they are approaching the game of basketball is reckless.
I agree. It's like speeding through a stoplight and not knowing who the hell is in that intersection. All right, last question. How'd you boys take it? So what happens pretty early in the game. My guess is, MT, you're like, no big deal. I wonder if people are going to overreact. And it sounds like Maxime took it kind of hard. I'm sure you guys can guess for me, but fuck guesses. How, what was it? MT, did you just move on? Was this not a big deal for you?
That play?
Yeah.
No, I took it hard. I didn't think it was a dirty play, but it was deflating because it was, we need Jimmy Butler. We're a completely different team with Jimmy Butler on the floor than without off the floor. So the Steph minutes go down, our free throws, obviously we attack the rim differently. So it was completely deflating. I just, I didn't think it was a dirty play. I thought there were other plays that were dirtier. And it was just disappointing. It's kind of like, it felt like, well, if he doesn't come back, then, it's been a fun playoff. So I'll see you next season.
I'll tell you, first of all, because I didn't totally get this off my chest when we were talking about recklessness, because I just can't stop. I can't tear my eyes away from the play and the discomfort of watching how hard Jimmy lands on his tailbone. It's just brutal. It makes me cringe literally every time I watch it, and yet I can't stop. What frustrated me in the moment, I saw, of course, the very first time I was like, oh my God, did he dive? And then I started seeing the replays. I'm like, oh, okay, I see. No, I'm not going to take issue with this. But what I am going to take issue with is the officiating crew breezing past this so quickly when we'll take 15 fucking minutes to decide if, the ball was tipped out of bounds or something, right? Give this its due course to pay attention. It felt like it was immediately common foul, we're moving on. What the hell, right? So there's this whole fan base in Golden State that's being forced to process this in real time when, normally we're given our due to pay attention to this. Same thing what you guys are talking about with the flagrant one with Jalen Green. As soon as it happened, I shut off the lights. I went in the other room. I put it on my laptop. And I turned on Assassin's Creed, and I watched it out of the side of my eye while playing Assassin's Creed, very angrily. And my wife came in later and was like, "The fuck are you doing? Don't you aren't you trying to watch? How are you playing video games at the same time?" And I was like, and I didn't say anything. And then she saw the score and was like, "Oh, I see. We have a problem here." Very, very frustrated. Just trying to avoid it.
I have a funny story about my own reaction, and then a segment I cannot wait to do. But first, some logistics. In fact, the first piece of logistics might be the most important. Welcome to Ron and Adam, to our Warriors Huddle family. We cannot tell you how much we appreciate your Patreon support. We can't wait to interact with you on that Slack channel and to see you in various forms. And anybody else out there, we would love to have you join us as well. Also, we got a quick ad read.
Underdog just became one of the best places to make picks during the basketball playoffs with their Extender promo. With the Extender, you can play your way to increasingly bigger boosts each round of the playoffs. Underdog is one of the leading sports apps, and you can play now in your state. Their app has over 100,000 5-star reviews and millions of players. To play, all you have to do is download the app and choose whether a player will go higher or lower on one of their stats. You can choose some things like points, assists, and so much more. If you get your picks correct, you could win up to 1,000 times your money. So, you could turn $1 into 1,000 with just your hoops knowledge. Bram has the numbers pulled up from game 3, so let's take a look and drop some picks.
Let's do it. I'm looking at them right now. Yeah, so I'll start with a Houston member. The number is 19.5 for points per game for Sengun. Do you guys think he'll score more or less the 19.5. I'm going to press lower. I'm going lower. F him. I'm in an FU mood. I'm saying lower.
Yeah, agreed.
I'm going to go higher, but I think a different player goes lower, and that's why.
Let's get to that second player. 20.5, Jalen Green. I also take the lower. MT?
Lower.
There you go. I thought you were going to tell me I was overreacting, and then I was just going to kick you out of this ad. Let's do one last one. Maxime, take this one alone. Points, rebounds, and assists for Steph Curry. 38.5.
Points, rebounds, and higher, excuse me, alone on the points.
Slam the over. Last one for all three of us. This is my line. I put the line at 0.5. How many games will Jimmy Butler play in the playoffs going forward? I go above, higher.
He plays in game 3, so yeah.
There you go.
Fear the bear or pray for the bear, whatever the hell it was.
Whatever.
Yeah. So whatever incredible take it was from him. All right. 2, my story.
Well, let me give us the legalese. If you don't
please.
Mind. Download the Underdog app and sign up with promo code WHP to unlock a special offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. That's promo code WHP for Warriors Huddle Podcast. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona and Massachusetts, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/extend.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
All right, 2, our story, and then the segment. Let me start it this way. People who have listened to this show, who have watched the YouTube channel, may think it would be fun to watch a game with me. It is not. And like I've told you guys, like the anxiety riddled portions who I am. And so you may have this vision of like me demonstrably running around or screaming or like being all in. It's not like that at all. It's this internal anxiety filled situation where I just sit there saying very little until something bothers me enough where it spills out of me like Tourette's. But most of the time when you're watching, the game's going on. So like, yeah, you can see me doing that, but you're not paying attention. There's games that are happening in front of you. You're watching the play. Last night, so the Amen Thompson play goes down. The Warriors start immediately and justifiably running in the wrong direction. I know that they're going to lose the game. And so my copingism, Maxime, when you said you played the video game throughout, one of the things I'll do is I'll pause it, let it go far enough out where now I've got a little bit of runway. And then I can fast forward at times 1 through portions of it when they're down like 25. I can still see it. I just can't hear it. It's like watching it through a film, kind of like I'm slightly removed. And so I try to do that last night. I pause it, but that means you got to sit there for like 8-10 minutes, while the game's going. And I've got a cable program where if you're not watching the TV, if you press play, you last long enough, a screensaver will pop up. And so I'm sitting in this room with my daughter and I'm sitting in this room with my wife. We're all sitting there. They're both working. I'm supposedly watching this game. And then I'm just sitting there, not saying anything. 4 minutes, 5 minutes, 6. And then suddenly these things start spilling out of me. Like, God damn it. This is so unfair. They look up and see a screen for old episodes of Breaking Bad. And they're like, dude, what's wrong with you? Like, you're not even watching the game. So I took it hell of hard. Took it so hard that I fired off some texts that I feel kind of bad about. All right. Now I'm going to read you those texts, but here's the segment. I'm also going to hide them. All right. This segment is called Bram or Psychotic Fan. All right. There was a article on Reddit today entitled "The NBA Needs to Suspend Amen Thompson." And there was a number of very, very angry comments in that article. I guess I should say post. So I have pulled 6 comments I have here in front of me. 5 of them are from Reddit. 1 is from me. It's a text I sent to my parents. I sent this to my parents. So I want to see if you guys can pull out the text I sent. All right. Here's our first quote. Ime Udoka is a literal piece of shit human being. It's not surprising a garbage franchise like Houston hired him and the play this way. We take solace in the fact that even if Jimmy misses the rest of the series and they knock the Dubs out, they'll get completely fucking demolished by whoever they face in the second round. So there's one take. Take number 2, quote, We just keep getting hit while in the air. It's almost like it should be considered a dangerous play. NBA should hire employees to enforce the rules. I suggest they call them referees. Maybe dress them in black and white so they stand out. Just so you know, physicality doesn't escalate to nonsense and maybe nearly paralyze an opponent. I think that'd be preferred. Next one, quote, if I had a magic button that bombed their stadium, I wouldn't press it, but I'd look at it longingly for a while. Next one, half the NBA verse laughed when he threw Tyler Hero without provocation, or they made up stories that Tyler was talking shit or had nut checked him. Amen himself refuted these claims. Haha, fuck that skinny white boy. I hate his face. But suddenly it's not so funny when he's doing this stuff to an elderly man in the playoffs. Suddenly we're seeing a pattern. His own brother, Asur, said in an interview with a straight face that Amen was a violent child and would hit him when they were kids. Finally, watching them get rewarded for hurting a star while the refs watched and celebrating throughout has me furious. I'm alone in my living room right now, hating everyone in the state of Texas. Those are our option, boys. Does one stick out as mine?
I mean, it's some good choices. Any of them could be yours, except for, what was it, number 4 or something? Just felt a little bit too canned for what you would text your parents. But I'm gonna go. I mean, magic button is a magic button Bram word, and so that immediately caught my attention. And I do feel some wanting to do some, Houston Bomber energy. I think coming out of you right now.
MT?
Yeah. Magic button to me was a tell as well, but if it's not that one and Bram is just setting us up, then I think it's number 2. I don't think he goes too hardcore with cussing at his parents, but and that one was just enough of like the sarcasm that it feels like he would have that tone on a text chain with his parents.
So we should say that we don't mean any of the things that I just read, right? These are funny takes from an article that everybody meant tongue in cheek. The magic button thing was me, unfortunately, and there's 2 of these that are mine. So look, I take back the bombing thing. I got a little out of control. I can see now that that's not something you should joke about. And that's all it was. And I feel shitty. So that was unfortunately me. And then the other one that was me, the last one. Watching them get rewarded for hurting a star while the refs watched and celebrating throughout has me furious. I'm alone in my living room right now, hating everyone in the state of Texas. I'll tell you boys, I was going to lie about the magic button thing. I was like, I felt bad enough where I included it and then was going to tell you no. And then I don't know why I balked at that now. So the truth is out there. There's nothing we could do. It is what it is. So yeah, dude, I take it hard. And I feel a little bit better now. I do. I feel a little bit better now, which leads to our last question. Update your prediction. Then nothing can go back. Maddie Stats isn't going to change what we said. Our prediction is our prediction. But if you could go back, if it was written in pencil and you now, 2 games played, they came back to you now, what would your guess be? Maxime, you've got the most aggressive. You had us at 5. Do you still think that?
Yeah. So updated prediction: Warriors in 4. Oh wait, that's we can't do that.
Time machine incoming.
No, I mean, I'm hopeful that Jimmy's going to come back for Game 3. I think even if he does come back, I'm also a little bit worried about Pods. If it is in fact a stomach bug thing, he ought to be back in time. But it sounds like he wasn't working out at all. Wasn't pretty much was not with the team. It's going to take him a second to ramp back up. So let's say he's at 50-60% on Saturday. I think there's a chance that we lose that game. I think Jimmy's going to not feel super comfortable, and so I'm calling Warriors in 6 because I still feel very confident. And that is entirely under the assumption that Jimmy comes back and plays every single game. I think if Jimmy is not playing a game, we are losing that game.
MT?
I'm still at Warriors in 6. I thought Warriors would win Game 3 and lose Game 4. So I'm just going to flip-flop it. I think we lose Game 3 and the sky starts falling for a ton of Warriors fans, but we don't panic as an internal team. And then we win 3 in a row.
I started panicking when you said that. I'm pushing my back. Warriors in 7. Although my secret hope is that the NBA starts taking this physicality very seriously after the attention that this play puts everything into, and we're going back home. So I think the Rockets will be officiated really tightly, which should be in our favor, but I guess we will find out. Here's a take from NRG Manifest conceding we're going to lose that game anyway. Almost makes me angry with y'all than I am with the Rockets. Thank you, Maxime. In all capitals. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, not necessarily, and hit the like button. There we go. I was going to take a shot at you at NRG Manifest, but I won't because you hit the like button. And so, yeah, thank you, Maxime. We boys, Huddle family, appreciate you guys. Needed this. Needed a place to just get this shit off my chest. The anger is deflated. I'm locked back in. Let's see where this goes. I'll leave you guys with an interesting situation that I'm going to have to update the next time that we record. Game 3 is Saturday. You know what else is Saturday? My wife's school auction. And we've been playing this game of chicken, seeing like who is going to be like, no, you don't have to do that first. I'm 100% lost. I will be at the auction, supposedly watching the game. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes, dude. I don't know. I might be divorced the next time we speak, but we'll find out together. With that in mind, hop on to Patreon, search for Warriors Huddle, support us for as little as $4 a month. You will keep this show going. You will earn our eternal gratitude and our promise that we will kiss your ass if we ever meet you. Now, with that in mind, go Warriors. Hopefully, we'll see you real soon.